Are you not entertained? The Cardinals and Cubs put on a classic at Busch Stadium on Tuesday, and you won't believe how the game-winning run was scored. This is Locked on Cardinals.
You are Locked on Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, the Cardinal fans, I'm JD Hafford, and I'm your host for Locked on Cardinals, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, covering your team every day. Follow me on X at JD Sports Radio, as well as the podcast at LO_Cardinals. If you're on YouTube, make sure you come by, see us, like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that notification button so you don't miss anything. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So first and foremost, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see I do have my like a flashy summer shirt on right now. This is not in any way, shape, or form a significance of winning the series or anything like that. We just had the minor league baseball team I work for. We had a morning game today, which is why this is coming out so late. So this is kind of what we wear during day games. But it is a hot mother out there. My goodness, I tell you what. But apologies for this getting out as late as it is. But wanted to be able to talk to you guys about last night's game because this was a lot of fun. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs have had some pretty entertaining games over the course of this rivalry, and Tuesday night was just another one with the Redbirds picking up the 8-7 victory to move the 2.5 games back of the Cubs in the NL Central. And the offense is clearly something we are going to talk about in today's episode, but something that I have praised the Cardinals for this year and why, in my opinion, they've been a more competitive team and a more entertaining team than they were in 2024 is just the ability to do the fundamental things right. Fundamentals are so big in this sport. When your roster is not loaded with superstars and you're not overflowing with money, which, you know, the Cardinals aren't spending money right now. Not that they don't have the money. They just decided not to spend it this time. You got to do the little things right day in and day out to win ball games. That's how you're going to do it. And that's something that the Cardinals have done more times than not. Of course, they're going to have their moments where they make a base running blunder. And of course, we pointed out, they're going to see it where they make an error in the field or they miss a cutoff man or they fail to move runners over in certain situations. They are human after all. It's going to happen. But to minimize the amount of times that you make those mistakes or don't fulfill what you need to get done in those situations will essentially improve your chances at winning baseball games. And on Tuesday night, the Cardinals were the ones doing the little things right, while the Cubs were the ones making mistakes. And one of those mistakes ended up costing them the game in the end. And the other thing that stands out about what the Cardinals have been up to is their ability to come from behind. They just do not quit. There have been plenty of situations this year where the Cardinals have been down, and if it was years past, if it was the 2023 team or even last year's 2024 team, most fans would have written them off, right? You've been like, they're down 4. This one's over. Moving on to the next one. This year, it's different. Cardinals were up 2-0, then quickly down 5-2. And it seemed like the Cubs would have their number in this one. It was one of those situations where you're like, oh, man, 5-2 after the home run. You're like, all right, well, series is probably going to be split. But the boys, as they all have often done so far this year, they punch back. You keep hearing that they punch back. They get knocked down, they get right back up and punch back. They retake that lead 7-5. And on a 1-out, 2-run double by Masyn Winn, which was a huge hit for him. He had a great night, hell of a night for him with the Cardinals. But he gets that double, and the next batter is Alec Burleson. So the Cardinals have the lead 7-5. Masyn Winn standing on second base, and Burleson lifts a deep fly to center. And the ball clearly is traveling well the last couple days in the heat, and it sends Cubs phenom Crow Armstrong to the center field wall where he nonchalantly makes the catch. And as soon as I saw him do it, and I saw the way he was reacting and his body language, I'm sitting there with the boys, and I'm like, oh, you forgot how many outs there were. You forgot how many outs there were. And the Cardinals noticed. Masyn Winn was tagging up on the play to go to third anyway. He never stops running. Pop Warner continued, gives him the windmills, like, go, 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 go. Scores all the way from second base. It reminds me of the highlight of Ozzie Smith scoring from second base in the World Series in 1982. If you've ever seen that highlight where the center fielder makes the catch and he slips on the warning track and falls down, Ozzie scores all the way from second base. It reminded me of that so much. Although PCA didn't fall down in this one. He just forgot how many outs there were. So he ends up scoring from second, and it's a sac fly for Alec Burleson, which he's probably like, yeah, doesn't hurt my average. Makes it 8-5. So a big situation. One of the most basic parts of the game, after each out, you'll see the players. They signal to each other how many outs there are, just to remind each other. And for whatever reason, PCA forgot. Brain cramp, brain fart, whatever you want to call it. And the Cardinals took advantage of it, doing the little things. They turned one simple mistake into what ended up being the game-winning run when everything was said and done. That's now 19 come-from-behind victories for the no-quit Cardinals, which puts them among the top 10 in baseball. The Dodgers, ironically, lead with 29 thanks to all their starting pitching injuries, so they're constantly playing from behind so far this year. And then you've got the defensive side of things that were going on with the Cardinals in this one. Two plays in particular that I want to talk about that stood out to me from this game, and of course, we're going to get into the offense finding their power stroke as well. So more to come about this huge victory for the Cardinals on Tuesday night, coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did my money go? I had more in there and it's not there anymore. Well, it's easy to lose track when you're dining out, when you're online shopping, just entertainment things. How about all the different channels and stuff you pay for with cable and all the subscriptions you have? It's easy to lose track, and that's where Monarch Money comes into play here to be your personal CFO. They're going to give you full visibility and control over your finances, because Monarch Money is not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center where you can track all your accounts, your investments, and your spending, and you do it all in one place. So you stop managing your money and start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, this is great because Monarch Money is going to eliminate all those other ones. You don't need them anymore. Monarch Money has got you covered when you want to check your finances, track your spending. Even if you want to plan some long-term goals, they can help you with that as well. And if you're married or you have a partner and you guys have got shared accounts and you want to set goals together, Monarch Money is going to help you with that too. They're going to keep you guys on the same page, but be able to do it without all the stress. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube as well as on X anytime you want. I'll be honest, it's a whole lot more fun going through the comments when the Cardinals are playing well and they're winning, especially when they're beating teams like the Reds and beating teams like the Cubs. Even when they were beating the White Sox, people were like, it's the White Sox, who cares? Now that they're beating some teams that are pretty good and playing well, you're starting to see the turn, and there's the vibes that are going on online, and I appreciate that in the comments section. So let us know your feedback. It's always welcome and encouraged, good and bad, but enjoying the good stuff right now. One thing the Cardinals have been known for during their successful years, and they've had a lot of them, is the defense. They've got a record 53 Gold Gloves in their storied history. Gold Glovers littered all over the place, right? Like through the years, I mean, obviously Yachty comes to mind, Albert, Jimmy Edmonds, Ozzie Smith, Scott Rowland, Edgar Renteria, Colton Wong, Adam Wainwright, Mike Matheny, Terry Pendleton, Willie McGee, Tom Pagnazzi, Keith Hernandez over at first base, Bob Gibson, Kurt Flood, Bill White, Ken Boyer, Harrison Bader, Tyler O'Neill, Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt. And, of course, you've got two guys on the roster right now. They got a couple. Nolan Arenado, he's got a few in his closet. And then Brendan Donovan has won a Gold Glove as well. And there's other ones I'm forgetting. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but I thought that was a pretty good list. But this year, the Cardinals, once again, have been one of the top defensive teams all season. And with a pitching staff like they have that lacks the swing and miss of most teams, what the Cardinals have done so far this year has been nothing short of spectacular. To be able to do what they do defensively day in and day out, it's awesome. And I know as Cardinal fans, we appreciate that. They currently lead the league in outs above average with a plus 26. The next closest, Astros, at plus 19. So that's a sizable lead. And in the game on Tuesday, there were two huge defensive plays that stood out. The first one was the catch in foul territory by Alec Burleson in that 7th inning. We know that Burley is not your prototypical outfielder. He's not the fleetest of foot. He's not going to cover a whole lot of ground. But somehow, some way, he ends up covering a lot of ground in this one and goes out and makes this catch. 7th inning, Cardinals are threatening to tie it, or the Cubs are threatening to tie it up. And Burley makes the best catch of the season for him. Runners on second and third, 2 outs, and you get that strange bunt by PCA, which brings in Dansby Swanson, who pops one in foul territory down that right field line. Burley goes tumbling into the netting, makes the grab, gets stuck in the netting, actually. Just an incredible play from a guy who is not known for his glove. He's a bat-first guy, and he makes an incredible play and helps ends the Cubs' threat. Then in the 9th inning, with the Cubs threatening yet again, 2 outs, runners on second and third. And again, it's Dansby Swanson who hits a chopper to third base. And similar to the way Nico Horner tried to distract Arenado on Monday, PCA tries everything he can legally do to interfere with the play. He does that little stutter step. He kind of shuffles to go around Arenado. Dangerously close to interference, but he didn't do it. But Nato ends up grabbing it barehanded, rifles it over to Contreras, who makes the awesome stretch. They nail Swanson by a step to end the game. Just a beautiful play. Both of them, outstanding plays. Arenado is having another outstanding season with the glove over at third base, if you haven't noticed. Probably not going to win the Gold Glove because Brian Hayes for the Pirates is off the charts again. He's a +9 DRS and a +12 outs above average. Nato is not shabby, +4 DRS and +3 outs above average, respectively, which has him in third place in both of those categories in the National League. But what Nato's doing, getting to see him play day in and day out, I don't know when Key Brian Hayes is making these plays. The Pirates have lost a lot of games, so I don't know when he's doing them all. But it appears to me when Nolan Arenado makes these plays, they're like in huge moments. They are game-changing moments that he's pulling off these awesome plays over at third base. And it's showing up. He's winning games with his defense. He's also winning some games with his bat, too. He's had some major hits. But almost had another web gem on Tuesday earlier in the game. Suzuki ends up beating out that throw. But even to make it close was like, what? How did you even do that? But again, it's the little things that the Cardinals are doing that makes average teams good, and it makes good teams great. And while the Cardinals are getting that effort in this game on Tuesday, the Cubs are out there forgetting how many outs there are and watching foul balls bounce off their heads, like what happened to Shaw in the 4th inning. Matt Shaw over there at third base. I thought he hit his head on like one of the chairs when he went into the netting over there, or he hit a fan or something like that. And then they showed the replay, and he just misplayed it, misjudged it, and the ball hits him right on the noggin. Just bunk. And normally you just laugh it off and you move on, but to add insult to injury, the next pitch is when Nolan Gorman hits the game-tying home run. The little things, man. The little things. And it's paying off for the Cardinals. Speaking of Gorman and home runs, how about the Cardinals offense? How about what we've seen from this St. Louis Cardinals offense? I know all year they've been pretty good anyway, but the last couple days, the power is showing up all of a sudden. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to preview tonight's game. We'll do it next on Locked On Cardinals. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Ready. Rugiet Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment, and it's designed to amplify the arousal in the brain and boost your blood flow where it counts. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rugiet's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue. It's going to kick in fast, on average, 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can be confident and in control when the moment is right. And you'll love the fact that it's completely online. It connects you with a board-certified doctor, ships your treatment discreetly to your door, so no awkward doctor visits to go to. Head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnMLB, and you use that code LockedOnMLB to get 15% off today. That's Rugiet.com, Rugiet.com/LockedOnMLB. Use promo code LockedOnMLB. You're going to get 15% off. Give it a try. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rugiet website for full safety information. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night, every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you're listening to your podcast. Pardon me, I need a drink of water. I've been talking all morning, and finally I get to put this podcast together for you guys, and I've been wanting to do it since last night. We do MLB Game Night after the games are done, so I didn't have a time to do it last night, and then I had to be up at 8 o'clock this morning to head to our morning game, our splash day for the minor league team. So I'm getting this together now, and it's exciting to talk about. It's a fun time to be a St. Louis Cardinals baseball fan right now because they're playing good ball defensively and offensively. The Cardinals bats have gotten as hot as the weather has been in St. Louis, which has been unforgiving, right? Specifically, their ability to hit home runs is something that has stood out in these last two games. After hitting 4 bombs on Monday, they popped 3 more on Tuesday night. Lars Nootbaar got the scoring going. You've loved to see him turn things around after really struggling bad for a couple of weeks there. Gets that 2-run tater in the second inning. His team leading 11th long fly of the year. Then in the third inning, with the Cardinals down 5-2, Masyn Winn rips his 7th of the season before Gorman ties things up in that 4th inning. The home run ball has not been a major part of the Cardinals' arsenal this season, and that's okay. I'm completely okay with that. I have said this from day one of this podcast, since I started working on it, that I will take a team that puts the ball in play, does the smart things on the base paths, gets singles and doubles. I will take that instead of a lot of home runs and a lot of strikeouts. I don't want to see it. It's boring baseball. I think it's terrible. I think it's awful, and I don't like it. I prefer the small ball. I don't even want to call it small ball, but I prefer keeping the carousel going on the bases, to keep putting the ball in play, keep making the defense make plays, put the pressure on them. That's what I want. I don't need home runs all the time, but damn, has it been fun to watch the last couple of nights. In the month of June, the Cardinals now have 29 home runs as a team, which ties up for 9th in the league with the Colorado Rockies. They only hit 23 and 22 as a team in April and May, and it's been the bats of Alec Burleson and Nolan Gorman. They're getting more at-bats. They're getting more playing time, and that has helped lead the charge. Burley's got 5, and then Gorman is tied with Arenado and Contreras with 4. Gorman only had 2 all season until this month. Lack of playing time is a major culprit of the reason why he didn't have as many home runs, but at the same time, he just wasn't having as good at-bats. And now you're still going to get the strikeouts from Nolan Gorman. That's never going to go away, but he's taking much better at-bats. He looks more confident up there. And I've always said, I feel personally, I feel it's a mental thing with Nolan Gorman than a physical thing. I don't see his swing changing all that much or getting too far out of whack. It's not like when Newt's struggling where it just everything looked weird. Gorman just needs to feel more confident. He's got to build confidence. And to do that, you got to have playing time. And now that he's getting the playing time because, people are injured, Ivan Herrera's out right now, you're seeing him develop that confidence. And you're seeing it in his approach at the plate. And that was a missile that he hit to tie the game up at 5. Masyn Winn, your player of the game, though, give him credit. 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored, including the game winner, scoring from second base, which was clearly a special moment for Masyn Winn. He said after the game that he had done it once before in low A, had been looking to do it ever since, to do it again, and to be able to do it in the big leagues against the Cubs, said that's what dreams are made of right there. So very cool that Masyn felt that highly about that situation. And it was cool. Like, I was excited about it when it happened. Pitching wasn't as sharp yesterday as you'd like it to be. I always give credit to the opposition when they deserve it. The Chicago Cubs have a very good lineup, so not easy for anybody to just breeze right through them. What you saw Matthew Liberatore do on Monday night is not normal. That's not what people normally do to the Chicago Cubs. So Michael McGreevy not being quite as sharp as we're used to seeing him, I'm not all that surprised. And it really was one really bad mistake, which was the sinker right over the heart of the plate to Seiya Suzuki, who parked it into the visitors' bullpen for the home run, and that gave the Cubs that 5-2 lead. Outside of that, McGreevy wasn't all that bad. He really wasn't. He only lasts 4 2/3 innings. He allows those 5 runs on 7 hits, only 1 strikeout. He didn't have his best stuff, but you saw him working with it. Again, one bad pitch is really what undid things and made things look much uglier than they really were for McGreevy. So better days to come, obviously. Steven Matz, 2-run dinger to Nico Horner. I didn't even think it was that bad of a pitch. Nico Horner just made a good swing and just lifted it out of there. Again, sometimes the hitter wins. It happens. That was in the 6th inning to cut things to 8-7. So now you're starting to chew your nails a little bit. You're like, oh boy. How's our bullpen going to react? Okay. Because, they're going to have to put some work in this one. But Jojo Romero, Phil Maton, Ryan Helsley, they bent, but they didn't break. Thanks to the Cardinals defense, obviously, who came up huge. And they ended up putting up 3 shutout innings to save the game. Phil Maton quietly having an insanely good season. What a signing this has been for the St. Louis Cardinals. Started off really well. Then things evened out a little bit, right? As they normally do. But after the 1 1/3 innings on Tuesday, he's now got a sparkling 1.76 ERA over 32 appearances. Has 16 holds, which ranks 3rd in the National League, 4th in the major leagues. Like, he's been incredible. That was the spot that Ryan Fernandez was supposed to be holding down, right? That didn't work out very well earlier on in the season. They signed Phil Maton late. He comes right in, prepared to pitch. It didn't take him long to get up to speed, and boom, he's been outstanding for the most part this season. So huge signing there. So give credit to Mo and company. Helsley once again. Had some traffic on the bases, giving up singles to Kyle Tucker and PCA in that 9th inning. But now has got 15 saves, which is ranked 5th in the National League. And I know he doesn't feel like he's really that reliable because there's people on base almost every time he comes into the game. Very rarely do you find that clean inning. It's always very, very stressful. And everyone hits the piss out of his fastball. But the slider is still exceptional. If I could gift Ryan Helsley something, it would be either a cut fastball or a splitter to give the opposition something else to look for, except for the straightest fastball you've ever seen and the slider. His four-seam fastball doesn't have a ton of movement. Yeah, it's 101, but it's straight. And these guys tee off on 101 now. It's not as special as it used to be when you don't have other pitches to go along with it. I mean, he would be filthy if he had a splitter or a cutter to just get it off the barrel, just that little bit. So I don't know what it takes to learn those types of pitches. I don't know how difficult or easy it is. I'm sure if it was easy, he'd already done it by now. But that's what I wish for Ryan Helsley. As he gets older and eventually the velocity is going to drop even more, he's going to have to find other ways to get people out other than just trying to sneak a fastball or get him to chase that slider. It's got to be something else. So be something nice to work on to see if we could find that for him. But got the job done. I know it wasn't pretty. Took an outstanding play by Arenado to do it, but it's team game. Got it done. Another victory. So that's great. Wednesday's matchup, we've got Eric Fetty on the mound tonight against the Cubs left-hander Matthew Boyd, who's been pretty darn good for them. 6-3, 2.84 ERA and 15 starts. They're going to have Shota Imanaga pitch on Thursday. So Matthew Boyd here. This month, Boyd is 1-1, 2.22 ERA. And very similar to what you saw from Andrew Abbott from the Reds on Sunday. Not a lot of hard contact against him. Doesn't walk people, so you got to swing the bat. Only throws 93 on average with the fastball. He's got a change. He's got a slider. Those are his 3 primary pitches. I hope the Cardinals learned something from the struggles that they had against Abbott on Sunday to prepare and do better against Matthew Boyd on Wednesday night. Also, yesterday, the Cardinals DFA'd Jose Barrero, claimed Garrett Hampson off waivers from the Reds. Hampson's 30 years old, joins his 3rd team of the season, which you're like, oh, what's the point of this guy? 6th team in his career, 60 plate appearances this year with Arizona and Cincinnati. Only hit 167, but that's not really his thing. All right, he's more known for the defense and his base running. StatCast has him as the 85th percentile of average sprint speed. So speed, never slumps. So nice to have. And he's also very versatile. So he can play second base, shortstop. It plays all 3 outfield positions. Pretty darn good with the glove. Spent most of his time when he does play in the outfield in center field. Think of him as the right-handed version of Michael Ciani. Like, that's basically what he is. Not a great hitter. We'll run into one here and there, but it's more about defense late in games, speed, being able to come off the bench and run for people and help out in those kind of ways as well. And he's more versatile than Michael Ciani, who only plays outfield. He can play those and play the infield as well. So just another tool to use for Ali Marmol. Barrero didn't have any minor league options yet. You're wondering why would you DFA this guy? It's because he didn't have any options left. So he couldn't just be sent down. Personally, I hope they don't lose him on waivers. I'd be shocked if somebody didn't grab him, but I hope he's able to stick around. He needs to play more. And he was hardly getting any playing time whatsoever with the Cardinals, but he's still got talent, and I would hate to lose him to another organization, but I feel like that's probably going to happen. But anyway, thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio, TikTok, and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube. We're pushing towards 13,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're somebody who loves Cardinals content, you love baseball content, and this is something you like, make sure you hit that subscribe button and come join us. We'll be hooking you up all the time throughout the season and the off season. We're always here for you. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time. Hopefully, I'm wearing the Cardinals ugly shirt when we meet next time. And as the Cardinals go for a series victory tonight against the Cubs.